The Shark Deck.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. A UFO was spotted over the Coronation. The Mirror reports Simon Bolson, 59, was taking pictures of the red arrows when he spotted the unusual object. Bolson says he has no idea what the object is, saying there have been a lot of unexplained sightings in East London area recently. Pictures show the Red Arrows aircraft flying towards the mall in London, but slightly overhead, a red object hovers above them. He said, "I was shooting some photos from the 13th floor of my apartment building in Limehouse while the Red Arrows did their flyover. The weather was bad, so there were no birds in the air, and I couldn't really see the planes, so I didn't check the photos until later. When I did, though, I spotted this weird object and thought, what the hell is that? I enhanced the image and tried to increase the spec to see what it was. It looks like a floating acorn or something. All I could get is that it had this little bit of a red top, but I just have no idea what it could be. There have been a lot of strange UFO sightings recently, so I thought other people might be able to guess what it was." Meghan Markle was spotted out on a hike with pals near her home in Montecito. Harry was not one of the hikers. The Mirror reports Meghan was wearing a wide-brimmed hat, sunglasses and scarf, which in our mind's eye is what the Princess of Canada was wearing on South Park. People reports Meghan was on the hike with friends Marcus Anderson and Heather Dorick. Page 6 reports Meghan wore Diana's Cartier watch and a Bentley and Skinner diamond tennis bracelet, which the king is believed to have given Diana, which are the sorts of things normal folks wear when out for a hike. The king was back to work, breaking ground for a new laboratory. He toured Cambridge University's Whittle Laboratory, which has recently secured funding to develop a new £58 million lab. As he walked to perform the breaking of the ground where a lump of mud was visible on the grass, he teased, "Don't tell me it's already been done. It's very unfair. I was rather looking forward to doing a bit of gardening." Palace Intrigue will be right back.
I'm Nina Hobson, ex-police detective from the UK. I've worked on every crime mentionable, from murder to kidnap to stalking to fraud. When I left the force, I launched my own investigations firm that soon became a global operation. I'm also a single mother of two, to two members of my team, my son Harrison and daughter Amy. Every week, we'll be getting first-hand accounts from psychological experts, operatives, former criminals, actual victims of the crimes that we investigate, and of course, my very own flesh and blood. From Storic Media, you're listening to Codename Siren, a true crime podcast, available on YouTube and all major podcast platforms.
The royal lip readers are still at it. At the Coronation, Harry was spotted having an intense chat with Jack Brooksbank. A lip-reading expert tells the Daily Star the expert said, Harry replied, "It's sad. I'm fed up. I've tried talking to him." It's unclear which him Harry meant, his father or brother. The Daily Star recaps what possibly happened next. The Duke looked at Jack and replied to the question, apparently referring to Meghan. "No, she's at." Jack tilted his head and said, "And is she?" Harry then nodded to confirm, adding, "It's not ideal." "If it makes you feel any better, even I can do it," Jack told Harry. "It's not quite the life, is it?" Harry shook his head as Jack answered, "I haven't had time for that, not if it's over." The prince then dropped a cryptic comment saying, "It's an eventuality." The headline of Piers Morgan writing for The Sun, "The Coronation was an absolute triumph for the real royals and a disaster for bitter Harry and Meghan." Piers writes, "Until Sunday night, the most powerful public statement that's ever come out of Prince William's mouth was the 8 words, 'No, we're very much not a racist family.' Since then, the Prince of Wales has maintained a dignified silence as Harry has repeatedly and shamefully trashed him, his wife Catherine, his father Charles and his stepmother Camilla in a repugnant tell-all book and Netflix documentary series. It won't have been easy. No man should prefer standing back and saying nothing while his own sibling tortures their whole family in such a disgusting manner. Indeed, I'm reliably told that William has felt so incensed by Harry's treachery, he didn't trust himself not to physically remonstrate with him when they next found themselves in proximity. But when that moment happened in Westminster Abbey on Saturday, William didn't punch his little brother or speak to him. In fact, he didn't even look at him, as Harry skulked inside like a naughty schoolboy and took his place 3 rows back from the main players in the same same royal Siberia as his disgraced uncle Prince Andrew. Instead, William focused on his own hugely significant role at their father's coronation, kneeling before King Charles to promise his allegiance as heir to the throne. I, William, Prince of Wales, pledge my loyalty to you, and faith and truth I will bear unto you as your liege man of life and limb. So help me God. It was an intensely personal, yet also very public display of support, and one that moved the king to smile and whisper, "Thank you, William." And what was Harry's contribution to supporting his father? The surly, spoiled brat barely mumbled the oath when the congregation was invited to say it, and looked like he found singing the national anthem in tribute to his dad as pleasurable as sucking on a lemon soaked in Tabasco. I have no idea why Harry was even at the coronation. For a father he has so relentlessly criticised, becoming king of a monarchy he's described as a callous, racist prison camp. And he got exactly what he deserved, stuck behind the large red feather plume on Anne's hat just as Meghan was hidden behind a candle at the Queen's funeral. These things don't happen by accident. When Charles and Camilla came out on the Buckingham Palace balcony to greet the roaring crowds on Saturday, Harry was nowhere to be seen, and nobody gave a monkey's cuss that he was already boarding his flight. Meanwhile, William aced the entire weekend, culminating in his short but magnificent speech at Windsor Castle concert on Sunday night. For just under 3 minutes, he paid heartfelt tribute to his father, invoking the memory of his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, of whom he said, "I know she's up there fondly keeping an eye on us, and she would be a very proud mother." Then came the zinger that took me right back to his steely, "Nowhere very much not a racist family" retort 2 years ago. And perhaps most importantly of all, my father has always understood that people of all faiths, all backgrounds, and all communities deserve to be celebrated and supported. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalacintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, or your favourite app of choice. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.